Hello and welcome to another Thomas DVD review. Now, I'm sure you all know that by this point I've been adding many releases to my Thomas home media collection. Well, scratch that, my Thomas collection has been growing a lot in general lately. And today we're going to review something that I've had for a long time. It's one of the most infamous Thomas DVDs ever. See if you can guess which one. Yeah, it's Milkshake Muddle. So, Milkshake Muddle was first released on February 6, 2007. I think it was like a day before, or maybe on the same day that Change.org was launched. So, that's interesting. It was the first Thomas DVD without bonus features. We'll get to that later. The first DVD to feature the 20th Century Fox logo on the disc. And the first DVD to have a more simplified poster. In the UK, it's known as On Track for Adventure, and I don't know if this got a Lionsgate reprint. I don't think that there's a version of this with the Lionsgate logo on the spine. I could be horrifically wrong, but let's just look at this. And yes, I'll talk about why this is so infamous later. So at the top, Thomas and Friends. I like that they muddled the text here. That's kind of fun. A very simplistic render of Thomas plunked right in front of the ice cream factory. You know it's saying something when the Hit era sets have more life than this. Hit Entertainment, and this is the first new release to feature this Hit logo. I think that's Thomas at Peel Godred, 20th Century Fox. The blurb. Emily and Neville, Mighty Mac, both of whom I have in Playrail form. A render of Thomas. This looks like shit, in case you couldn't tell, because they can't even be bothered to list the episodes. What the actual fuck? And as you figured out, there are obviously no bonus features on this. The copyright text and shit down there. The disc, and mine didn't come with a pamphlet, but one does exist. This is maddening. And you know what? I'm not even going to put the disc in to show you the menu. I'm just going to put it up on screen, and you'll see exactly why in a minute. Now, the issue here is obvious. Only two goddamn options on the menu. Play and languages. So in a sense, it's kind of like a VHS in that matter. And, I mean, there obviously could have been more to this that could have been added. I can't speak today, but clearly Fox stopped giving a shit by this point. But regardless of how bad the menu is, how are the episodes? Let's find out. We start off this release on a high note with Thomas's new trucks. While it is kind of silly for the engines to have their own rolling stock, I do really like the Thomas and James rivalry here. I just love Thomas and James in general. Duncan and the Old Mine is up next, and honestly, this is one of the most subversive episodes of the Hit era. Allow me to explain. So pretty much every Duncan story up to this point involved him getting rescued after getting into trouble, and then him getting reprimanded for his reckless behavior. Not this time. Duncan finds his own way out of the issue he caused of getting stuck in the mine, and it actually turns out that his recklessness here helped the railway in some way, because he got coal trucks. And while Rusty wasn't handled particularly well in the Hit era, I do like how responsible he is here, and how he immediately goes looking for Duncan, and Duncan is perfectly in character. 2 great episodes in a row. What's next? Well, wasn't that a disappointment? Thomas's Milkshake Muddle, it's not the worst episode of all time, but it's just a very forgettable Thomas Learns Not to Rush episode. Nothing on this one. Mighty Mac is up next, and honestly, this is another subversive episode. One, it's one of the few episodes revolving around a Hit era newbie that actually focuses on the main character. Thomas's appearance is a little shoehorned, but it's fine, I guess. It's genuinely really funny for a Hit era episode, and I love the concept of conjoined twins. And another thing I love is that after the rock slide occurs, instead of having Skarloey or whoever turn up with the Thing controller, who would then say, "Mighty Mac, you have caused confusion and delay. You must learn to work together." No, Mighty and Mac learn that lesson themselves by seeing the passengers work together to put the coach back on the track. And while the message is still very obvious, that is a fun subversion. The message is learned almost naturally. Again, these episodes are good. Keep them coming. Toby feels left out. On one hand, the title is laughable, Toby is out of character, and it's not that creative. But on another note, I do like how Toby doesn't immediately just feel bad for himself. No, he actually gives 110% even when he's convinced his time is up. That's the true version of Toby. And honestly, while it's stupid that Toby would ever think that the fat controller would scrap him, I do agree with what the Unlucky Tug said about how the episode poses an interesting dilemma of, there's a fate worse than scrap, you know? It just wasn't executed right. I can't think of a good rewrite at the moment, but if I do, I'll make one on my channel. And last but certainly not least, Thomas and the New Engine. While I am not a fan of how the new characters were paired with Thomas on their first appearance almost every single time, I think it works here. The episode is clearly about Thomas and the others, while Neville is just supposed to be a tool. The problem is that they didn't do anything else with Neville, but that's basically the case for every era newbie. Other than that, I do like the scene of the engines bickering, and I like the more serious nature of the episode, and how rumors just get spread without any rhyme or reason, and how everything just becomes further and further from the truth. The sequence where Neville nearly falls off the bridge is fucking awesome, and there is a raw sense of seriousness, because all the passengers could have been killed from that crash. But am I the only one who finds it weird that there was a barricade on one end of the bridge, but clearly not the other, as you can see in this shot? And there's another subversive element I like here, the fact that it's the new character who has to get rescued instead of the new character coming to save the day. I love that. Overall, Milkshake Muddle, while it has an appallingly bad menu, a piss-poor cover, and no bonus features, the episodes, bar 2, are really good. 4 of them are subversive in some way, which I love, and honestly, would I recommend this? I guess, since we don't have the complete season sets over here, I'd give Milkshake Muddle, I guess a 5 out of 10, honestly. I mean, again, the menu is appalling, but the episodes are pretty good. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. This is Henry NWR1911. Thank you so very much for helping me hit 1,000 subscribers. I'm currently in the process of planning the 1,000 subscriber special. I'll have more on that for you soon. And I hope you continue to subscribe, continue to watch my videos. See you soon!